This is Talk the Home of Common Sense. 12:53 is the time. Let's talk right now about, well, once again, social media and the harmful content that's being fed to us, not just adults, but also to kids. And yes, kids who at the age they are allowed to look at it. Teenagers as young as 15 joining Instagram, joining TikTok, could be shown racist, misogynistic or violent content, basically without searching for it, without consenting to it, basically within minutes of setting up their account. So they're not looking for it, but the algorithm is sending it straight to them. So what do we do about this? Chris McGovern is on the line. He's chairman of the Campaign for Real Education. Very good afternoon to you, Chris.
Hello there.
Thanks for joining us. Look, there's been such a debate lately about whether or not we go down the Australian route. I think Spain and other countries looking at it, of basically banning social media for under 16-year-olds. That would deal with this, but I'm not sure I want a 16-year-old to be fed this stuff. Is the problem who gets to look at this stuff, or is the problem the actual social media algorithms themselves?
Well, it's certainly the algorithms. And what's happening here, Julia, is that the Online Safety Act is supposed to stop this, but they are leaving it to the tech companies to monitor it. So they have to decide what is obnoxious, toxic material and what isn't. And they're obviously not properly doing their job. So the Online Safety Act isn't actually fully working. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, the high-tech bosses in California, they send their own kids to low-tech schools.
Oh,
and
yes.
They give their own kids a low-tech environment, Bill Gates and so on. They look after their own kids. They don't expose them to this at all. So the act isn't working, very, very sadly. It's not working.
Well, my worry about the Online Safety Act was it would go too far and it would restrict other people. And there's a big issue of people not being able to see some political content online because it's being restricted. I don't trust the tech companies or indeed my government or any other government to decide what I can and can't see. Equally, at the same time, I don't want to. I mean, sometimes when I'm looking at, X is the only social media feed I spend a lot of time on, and every now and then something very sexual and very explicit will pop up. I certainly don't want to see, absolutely a violent content or sexual content, but I'll get it anyway. You have to be very careful with your feeds, but certainly the damage that can do to young minds. I mean, there was one teenager within 8 minutes of opening a TikTok account. By the way, we're coming back to China here. They own TikTok. Was shown a violent video of a man drugging and kidnapping a woman within 8 minutes. No, so it's not like based on their previous searches. So we've seen, the kids who are pushed into, anorexia accounts, bulimia accounts, self-harm. We've seen the rise of trans very much on social media, telling girls and boys that this is the solution to all their problems. There is a very big issue here, isn't there? But who do we trust to deal with it?
Well, we don't trust the government for sure. But between the devil and the deep blue sea here, because look, I'm one of the proponents of freedom of speech, but of course, I don't want children to have the freedom to view or to be directed towards this toxic content.
No.
I mean, I would probably go much further than yourself, as you know, probably from a previous interview, that I would actually apply the same laws to the purchase of smartphones that we apply to the purchase of alcohol. So, yes, of course, we know people say, that's really hard because you can't do that. You're never going to get around that. Well, we don't, we ban murder. Well, there's still murder.
Yes, exactly.
If we had a ban on the purchase of smartphones, very, very difficult. But because it's so difficult, we should lead the world on this, because it is actually corrupting our young people. It's devastating for these young people. But we do want to protect free speech. So just if you apply the same laws to the purchase of smartphones as we apply to the purchase of alcohol. It doesn't work, but it will work in many cases. It doesn't work all the time.
Interesting.
It will work some of the time.
Chris McGovern, thank you for that. Chairman of the Campaign for Real Education. So it's short but sweet. Appreciate you joining us, Chris. Very briefly, Tom Slater. I know you and I both free speech advocates. You're more of a full-on absolutist than me. But
I blame the parents. Why are we legislating for this? Just don't give them, hundreds of pounds worth of technology kit in the first place.
Because 15-year-olds have. I mean, my daughter was have my old phone. I've never bought her a new phone. She just has my old one.
No, not having it. We don't need the laws. We just need people to step up.
What about the parents who don't step up? But it's about the algorithms. Your kid needs to be able to. Your kid needs to be able to do. Use Google Maps to find their way, to be safe when they're midnight.
What's wrong with an A to Z, Julia? Bring back the A to Z.
I think you're being facetious. I think it's perfectly reasonable. Teenagers do have these phones, but I just think the algorithms are part of the problem, and I really do think we need to be holding these people to account.